how to start a consulting business on the side. I'm going to show you how to get to 6 and 7 figures like that. It is not difficult. It's different. I did 6 figures my first year, 7 figures my second year, and have never gone back. You can do this too. So 3 things we're going to talk about. The experience and due diligence of even getting it started. I'm going to give you a principle I use called R&D. And it's not research and development. It's replicate and duplicate. And then number 3, what kind of company do you need to set up so you're actually running formally? So I'm going to give you just like what are the minimum requirements to get up and running. And these are the best kind of companies to bootstrap. Meaning you could be making money today if you did everything I say. So pay attention. So experience and due diligence. First of all, why do you want to be a consultant? Well, it's one of the most lucrative businesses in the world in any topic. I have consultants that are doctors who have moved away from the surgical table to become a consultant. We've had IT consultants. There's engineering consultants. Had cops, stop being in law enforcement or military, stop being whatever they're doing and move into consulting, whether it's aviation, it could be firearms, it could be self-defense training. You name it, I could make up a business for any of your skill sets. It's what I've done since even before 1996, when I met Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter, and I jumped into doing really executive level consulting. So I was a very exclusive job because of my background in exercise physiology and finance, so I could do all the analysis. So when I told Chevron I was leaving to go do the Rich Dad Poor Dad cash flow game and all of that, they're like, no, we can't. So for $500 an hour, I got it because I had very specific knowledge. So consulting really requires some experience. So some of you, if you don't have experience, I would go out and work for other consulting firms. I'd get some experience first. I'd get at least a little bit of a resume on your tool belt. And on the due diligence side is what industry needs you. There's some really, really, really crowded spaces right now. Tons of crowded spaces. One that's really, I say, crowded and corrupt. Well, all of them have a little corruption in them. But digital marketers and all these marketing and PR firms and digital firms that say, oh, I can generate leads. I can get you verified. I can do this for you. I can do this for you. Really? I can even say in the book space, there's so many people say, oh, I can help you write a best-selling book. They've never wrote a best-selling book. So for some of you, you've got to really say, what can I really do for people? Like I didn't just become the millionaire maker because I had a book about it. I actually had formulas for it. I knew how to do it. I still know how to do it. Making you a millionaire in 3 to 5 years is not difficult. So what is the topic that you're going to consult around? Do some due diligence on the crowdedness, the corruptness of the space. And the reason I say corruptness is because you can charge a lot of money. I don't know how many of you, I bet if you want to put in the comments below, how many of you have spent $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 on someone building a website or hooking up a database or going to get you some followers on the internet and then nothing really happened. I hear that in the LinkedIn space a ton. There's tons of LinkedIn consultants. Oh, I'll get you appointments, really? And the appointments are not qualified or they're international with no money that can't transact into whatever currency you're transacting. So be careful in what you're going to do. And I would say when you come out strong with a proper website, the brand, what are you going to do? You don't have to build it all out. What you really need to do first is go get a bunch of pre-sales. Just go out and test it on the people you know. I didn't have a website, did all those years. So from 96 to about 98, when I completely stopped doing the Chevron consulting, I did Marriott, Home Depot. I didn't do the work, but I was a good marketer. I knew how to sell and get a contract. I would go out and get the consulting contract and I'd outsource it to a whole nother group of people and just share the revenue. So you don't have to do the work. That's number one. And I think a lot of you think you have to do all the work. You really need to be one getting the contracts and getting the marketing. So in your space, who needs you? I mean, literally, I have firefighters that do consulting. I have handyman that do consulting, cleaning women that do consulting, and helping other people clean. There's kind of not a topic that you couldn't put a consulting business around. And yes, you are trading your time for money in the beginning. Then you start getting some sort of digital content, reports, books, things like that, where you put them up on the internet. So you start then getting a bunch of following, which gets you more leads, which gets you more sales. So once you decide what you're doing, you've got some experience, number one. If you don't have experience, go work for someone else for a little while. 96 to 2000, I worked with the Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad brand. So I didn't just hit the ground running and become the millionaire maker. I actually lived in another organization, really as an affiliate, learning how to do every part of it. A company takes about 6 to 7 departments to run. And that's why a lot of you fail, is because you think you can do it yourself. So you've got to do some marketing, right? On the consulting side, you've got to actually sell and make the contract. You've got to put money in the bank, come up with some payment structures, how you're going to do that. Then you have to fulfill. Then you have to follow up, do some customer service. You need technology and operations around it. So there's a lot to do in the beginning. Why consultants fail is all they like to do is do the work. They want to just do the fulfillment. They don't want to go out and market. They don't want to get the contract. They don't want to have to run a company. A lot of consultants fail because they get one contract, maybe a 2-year contract, think it's fabulous, have nothing in the pipeline, no social presence, no real credibility, and they fall down. So R&D. R&D is a huge part of due diligence. It's called replicate and duplicate. Anyone who wants to do anything, the first thing you need to do is go to this lovely place called the internet. I call it the bathroom wall. Anybody can write anything, do anything, but who's your competition? Who's out there already doing what it is you want to do? Narrow it down. The other thing I do is I tell you to go to bookstores. I love good old-fashioned bookstores, and I want you to go to the category you want to consult in. What's already been written about it? Where's a distinction or a niche? Like for me, the distinction I do is I stayed education. I didn't get a securities license. I'm not a financial advisor. So I stayed an educator, number one. And the distinction is the behavior, the family advocacy. How do you execute these strategies? How do you pay bills out of your company versus personal? How do you behaviorally do all the things that I talk about in strategy? I saw those distinctions. That's who we became, and we have been sustainable for well over 2 decades. So you're going to want some sustainability. If you're just going to go out and just earn a little bit of money and pop back in and out, and you're not really going to be consistent, I'm just telling you it's going to be a hard road. Once you get on this train of consulting, you want to stay up to date. You want to stay current. You want to know what the latest methodologies are. You need to know all that. But replicate and duplicate. Somebody's already got your web page, similar, pick 4 or 5. Go to a web developer. We can actually do that for you. If you go to askrms.com, right, which stands for Ask Rapid Marketing Systems, we can get you up and running. We'll give you some of the guidance about how to do R&D. How do you find the site, the calls to action, something similar to what you're doing. So like I know who the 3 to 5 are in my space that say they do what I do, but their client's similar, and that's who I want. So do a lot of R&D before you get going. And while you're doing R&D, do a focus group. Go get some clients. One of the first things I say to people who want to be coaches and consultants or any sort of that category, go get some business. See if you even like working with people. I don't know how many people think because this is a lucrative space, oh, I'm going to go out and do it. Well, then you really, when it comes down to it, I don't know how many of them say, I really hate people. I don't want to work with people. Well, you just got yourself in a big business of working with people. And it's much harder to get off the train and keep a good reputation than it is to get on it. So be very careful in your due diligence, your experience, and what you want. So just check us out. I think we can actually get you up and running on the internet and get you from followers and get you a structure for getting some leads and sales faster than anyone else. I actually know that because we do it for a lot of our clients. And while you are going out to RMS and setting up some time to have an appointment, check that out. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, which means every day, 5 days a week, you're not just going to get a little notification on your phone. You're actually going to click on, you're going to watch my video and share it with other people. Make comments if there's something that you want to understand more about or learn more about. Let's get this channel jamming because a lot of you are misinformed about business, consulting, finance, money, cash flow. And we're all things about money here on this channel for you and your family. Now, last thing I want to talk about is what's the company you need to set up. Do not be a sole proprietor. If you're a sole proprietor and you say something wrong, you consult, I don't care if it's in wellness, leadership, anything. If someone sues you and you're a sole proprietor and you own a home or real estate or a stock portfolio or whatever you have, they're coming straight through. There's no corporate veil. Anytime you make money outside of a job, you put the money in a proper corporation. That's an LLC, a limited partnership, S Corp, C Corp. I have a whole team of people who will help assess what kind of company you should have. And a lot of it depends on your state. So I've lived all over the world. I've lived mostly in the United States, but 13 years in California. That's a rough place to have a consulting business. Very high taxes. Same with New York, same with New Jersey, same with Pennsylvania, any of what I call the socialized nations, Canada, the UK, Australia, even more challenging because of the tax code and the way you're going to get taxed. Do not become a professional services company unless you have a medical license or a very specific license that requires it. Way more costly to do those. So again, there's all these nuances that after 25 years of experience, I want to help you with. So if you have a question about how to set it up, how to do the due diligence, how to replicate and duplicate, always go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, askloral.com, ask a question, make a request, And I have a whole team. They'll be right out with you and making sure you are getting some support and help in making a decision. 6 figures is easy. It's only $8,333.33 a month. So do not tell me any of you that are watching this YouTube channel cannot figure out how to make, let's just call it $8,400 a month in a consulting gig. I mean, one contract should be 5 to 10, if not $20,000. I have so many people that do consulting, and it's very lucrative. You could easily make hundreds of thousands, and then by 2024 be in the millions. So if you're serious, I'm serious. Go to AskLoral.com, say I want to talk to Loral, want to become a consultant like today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.